now. That, of course, also increases public safety so that we have licensed drivers on the road. And then Just Driving campaign. This was a local one here in Sebastopol. And this is actually what brought about the partnership here with Police Chief Weaver. Knowing that we're gearing up for the driver's licenses coming up here in January, there was between that interim period of having the legislation signed to then actually having it implemented in January, folks still weren't going to have access to driver's licenses, but it was in the pipeline. It was going to get done. So in that time, we worked with the police chief and the city so that unlicensed drivers, folks that were eligible to have a driver's license here in the coming months, would so that we could minimize the car impounds of the folks that are driving. And with that, we also brought this series of presentations that the police chief has been doing at the Labor Center. So, and then the last thing is the Fair Paycheck Act, and that's around wage theft. And so there are workers, there's a huge number of workers that go unpaid, and it's incredibly hard to be able to recover any wages. And so the Fair Paycheck Act still very much in the works, and final details are yet to be worked out. But in terms of the other campaigns, the other four, one of those campaigns in October in this past year, and the Fair Paycheck Act is very much in the works. And these are all worker-led campaigns. These are campaigns that the workers, through the assemblies, through organizing communities, have been able to accomplish. And so really, really proud of the efforts that they've led and to just be able to be a part of it.
So oftentimes when we're submitting grant applications or organizations ask us what we're about, we're often asked, what's your theory of change? For those of you in the nonprofit world have probably heard of that concept. And this is something that we've been developing over the years and are really coming to discover this set of ideas around transformative organizing. And the idea behind this is that you're not just trying to do a service that helps one person, but we're actually trying to change the world in our little way, in our little community. And so transformative organizing in a nutshell is really about starting with love and starting with this embracing the reality that we are all interdependent, that employers and workers both want to be treated with respect and both want to have healthy relationships and both want to have their needs met and to communicate, and for the most part, enter those relationships with good intentions. And so we're partnering with a national family foundation called Hidden Leaf Foundation, which is actually located here in Occidental. They fund organizations all across the country who are doing transformative organizing work. And so we've been in an organizational development, capacity building process with them over the last year to really integrate these principles. So we view our effort to transform the world as an integrated part of, or I should say, I view it as an integrated part of my intention to transform me. And then our intention to have healthier relationships as coworkers or as a supervisor and an employee. So we have honest, assessments of each other, and we look at what we're doing in the context of the world we want to build and check ourselves. So are we speaking in a way that respects each other as humans, because we want that for our workers and we want that for employers. So our theory of change is really about this concentric circle model of it doesn't just start with me and build out, but we have to work at all those levels at all times. So that's really what we're trying to do at the Labor Center, is have our little piece of the world where we're really practicing our ideals. And it's really messy and it's very difficult, but it's beautiful, and it's really an honor to be part of that. And part of those principles and values are healthy communication, transparency, accountability, and respect in all facets of our work. And we're really trying to do that at all facets of our organization. So we're looking at our board, at our staff, at our membership, at our volunteers, our relationship with employers, and our relationship with our funders. So speaking of funding, people do often ask, we're a 501c3 nonprofit charitable organization, and we receive most of our funding from private grants. Funding immigrant workers and day laborers isn't that sexy. Individual donors don't seem to really want to throw their money into immigrant workers, we've found, and so we do rely heavily on organizations that have a mission or a vision around immigrant rights or social justice, and they really fund the bulk of our work. We do have a really strong individual donor base here in Sonoma County, people who donate every year or twice a year, no matter what. we've recently purchased our site, and there are 2 buildings on it, so we have rental income from our neighbor. We do events every year, and we've recently also, the membership, the workers have started paying dues. They chose to do that when we were having economic hard times last year, and we were going to close 1 day a week, and they decided to institute a self-imposed $5 a month membership fee. And so just in that time, they've already raised over $5,000 just in charging themselves. And employers, it's not 0%, it's like 0.2 or something. We are starting to roll out a plan to voluntarily ask employers to donate every time they hire. So if you come to the center, in the next year you may ask to give a $10 donation per hiring, but it's voluntary. So our team, we're mostly part-time. Jesus is our only full-time staff member. I have a co-director, and she and I both work in collaboration with each other to do all the administrative and executive functions. We also have a women's organizer and a hiring coordinator, Melvin and Emilio. We have a very active board of directors, 6 members, but we are looking for new board members. So if anyone here is feeling little tingles that they like what we're saying and might want to be involved, I would really love to hear from you at some point in the next couple of years. Yay, I see you. So we are actively in a board recruitment phase and really seeking a variety of diverse perspectives and people who can bring strength and solid support to the center in different capacities. Including the board of directors, we have 16 regular volunteers, so there's 10 people who come to the Day Labor Center every single week, 2 interns and 8 English instructors, and are there as on a regular schedule providing various services for our workers as well. So this is just our information if you are interested in hiring a worker. I always tell people if you believe in immigrant rights, hire an immigrant, help them, support their families. And we'd love to see you, or if you're just interested and have more questions, please feel free to contact us. Okay, are there any questions? Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Ditch digging to roofing. Who's responsible for the workers' compensation? Do you carry a policy?
No, so we are not an employment agency. We're not licensed and insured and bonded, and that's why you're not charged when you hire someone from us.
So it's on the homeowner?
It is on the homeowner. There's a couple things. There's always the question of health or accident liability and then tax liability. So I'll just answer both of those right now because I'm not thinking. Okay. So most homeowners insurance policies carry within them coverage for anyone who's injured on your property. And so if you are going to hire day labor, you should check that your homeowner's insurance has some coverage for that.
Do you protect the worker by making sure the people that hire them do have that coverage? That might be something.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Workers know. They're taking like an acceptable risk. Like they understand that they're taking that risk. Yeah. And then the tax, I think people also were going to ask the tax question. You can hire a casual laborer for under a certain number of hours per fiscal quarter and not report it to the IRS. And those numbers are on our website if you're interested.
So I've never been out there, so what's the process? When I'm walking in the door, who greets me? How do I find out how I pick a labor? How does it work?
Sure. So I can take a stab at this, or do you actually should?
Well, we usually start with a good morning. And so you come on in, and then one thing that I actually forgot to mention in the slide as well was we have a new computerized software system that we've been using. When did we start that? I think January. So it's recent, just this past year. And it's helped us really centralize all of our information in a database. And so you come in, and if it's your first time, we would create a profile for you, an account. So that, and it's the same information that we have in the workers. So for safety and security purposes, we would start by taking some basic information, then we create a work order for you. Type of work, how many hours, the hourly wage, and just some of the finer details of that work request. And then we have, as I mentioned earlier, a democratic hiring process in which the workers have certain rules that we have a list from which we reference and through that list, we'll come through to find the most suitable worker that matches the needs for your work request. And you can, yeah, so how you can do it is you can either come on in, or you can give us a call, you can shoot us an email, and so those are all ways that you can contact us to hire a worker.
Do most of them have their own transportation, or?
We can make arrangements for that as well. Not all of them have transportation, but if need be, we can certainly make that happen.
One more question, maybe you can stay after it.
Oh, yeah,
One more.
One more burning question. More.
Thank you. I'm on the board of directors of Legal Aid of Sonoma County. I wonder if you liaise with them at all in the area of housing issues that your people may have, also in the area of domestic violence.
We've made a number of referrals to legal aid, but that's something on my agenda for this year, is to solidify that. And we do have some partners that are lawyers, like Jesus mentioned. We have immigrant rights attorneys and civil defense attorneys that have come in to voluntarily offer presentations and know your rights talks, and they want to build relationships in the Latino community, so they come and they kind of get to spread out their business cards. This is the interdependence that I'm talking about. And so then our workers know them and feel safe and comfortable to go to them if they have an issue. So we do the private and public legal services that way. Oh, and we also have California Rural Legal Assistance comes every other month and does a Know Your Rights talk and a wage theft prevention workshop, and takes individual cases as well. But because we've been doing this work for so long, we actually don't have very many cases of wage theft. We think that employers who are planning on stealing the work of workers don't come through us. We sort of naturally weed them out. But it has happened. Thank you.
With a bottle of our beautiful photo, and with this is a donation that goes to the Indian. Thank you very much. And one more little task, if I could. I got the winner right here. Did you go with that?
I'm actually from the town of Sonoma.
Okay.
I'm on East County on the other side.
Oh, that's good. You just want to take it. Read the last numbers.
2728.
2728.
Oh, that's me.
Okay. Well, there's 11 cards here. One of them is an ace because I checked. And if you draw that, you get
All that money.
all that money.
Yay! Oh.
Oh!
I saved it for you guys.
How about you can have orange and cranberry or dark chocolate?
I'll
Well,
do.
dark chocolate.
I'll do orange cranberry.
Okay.
Little large.
Thank you. And we have, I think Darlene, you're doing the joke.
Camel joke.
Ken, remind me, Ken, better. Remind me of that. Is it on?
No.
All right, turn it on, quick, turn it on.
That's on.
He said no.
Be loud.
Turn it up. Turn it up.
Just stop.
Huh?
Jack, we need Joe. We need Joe back.
How many of those hearings does it take to get my board? All right, I'm on. Okay, so as you may not know, my name before I was a famous singer was Nancy Reagan. So in response to my ex-husband Ronnie, who kind of left and forth back in California, I thought I would tell one of his jokes. So middle of, and I'm not red or blue, I'm more of a purple girl, so it's okay. So middle America, there's one of the guys with his fancy shoes on, politicking in the middle of cow country. So Paul comes out with his mud boots, stomps out and says, "What can I do?" And he explains what he's doing. He goes, wait, Ma's never met one Democrat. So he runs in and gets Ma. Ma comes out with her mud boots on. And he's looking around at the cow country remains and thinks, okay, whatever. So he gets on the biggest, tallest mound he can find, gives his spiel, and says, "What do you think?" And Pa goes, oh my God, I don't think I've ever heard anything like that. Let me read it. He says, I've never given a Democratic speech from a Republican platform. No, I did it the other way, so it's even.
An important announcement, the numbers that you have, when you turn in your badge, we have sheets there. Write your name by the number of the team that you're on, so that I can publish all that and everybody knows who won. Okay? And with that.
Oh my gosh, I saw